Christine's Corner. Stay and watch the show. You'll feel your heart and soul. Meeting people in the know. Christine's Corner. Christine's Corner. Christine's Corner.
Hi, welcome back to Christine's Corner. You might recognize my guests because they have been on my show before. They called themselves the DK Movement, and the DK Movement is because we have Derek and Kelly.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for having us
Thank you
back.
for having us.
Oh, absolutely. I was curious. Well, first let's tell them what DK Movement is about.
So DK Movement Cares is our nonprofit organization that we started 2 years ago. However, we've been helping our community even prior to that. We established a nonprofit based on our life experiences, and we've been through a lot in our life, and we knew that once we hit a certain aspect in our life, when we're good, we wanted to give back. So that's why we started the nonprofit. So our nonprofit is here to help individuals thrive. We want to see people grow. We want to see people who have maybe something that's difficult happening in their life know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, that there is hope. You don't need to be stuck. You don't need to live in the past, and the past shouldn't define your future. So we just want to give people that hope.
So some of it is social media posts, some of it is doing events that we've done in the past, some of it is volunteering our time. So there's numerous different avenues that we take. So for instance, let's say volunteering our time, we've done things in the community where we've gone and delivered food to different outreach organizations within Bristol. So
food you collected from other people that they give you, and then
Right.
you give
Hosting.
or that we purchased ourselves.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
just out
So
of your own
a lot
pocket?
of the stuff people don't understand, we purchased ourselves.
Oh.
So like the horse farm, what is the name of the horse farm in Bristol there? I can't remember. Shepherd Meadows,
Yes,
right?
Shepherd Meadows. Yes.
I'm
Yes,
sorry, I couldn't
used to
remember. the name.
volunteer there.
We saw online that they needed some different equipment. So we, out of our own pocket, not money that we raised, we went up there and we bought them a power washer.
Wow.
Yeah.
So a couple other things. I mean, we've done things where we've dropped off food to an outreach shelter, which a lot of people are familiar with.
Like Brian's Angels.
Brian's
Yeah, that's
Angels. So
one that
we've actually dropped off our clothes. We've also dropped off hot dogs. We've also dropped off pastries from another in-town bakery.
What do you do? Do you mind me asking
Sure.
your day job to able to give like that?
Yeah, so we're fortunate.
Yeah, we can say we're fortunate. I'm a child care director, and that's my full-time job. But when we started the company, I was home. I was injured at that time, and I think what Derek is saying, you need to understand is that we did this because we care. It didn't matter when we seen a need. We said, okay, we were there to fulfill that need. I mean, there was one family here in Bristol whose house burned down, and it happened to be a friend of my daughter's. And immediately we were like, okay, well, we need to help them. We bought them food. We bought clothes to them. We gave them gift cards. Because if we have the opportunity to give back, we're going to give back. It doesn't matter. So, and as you stated, like, what do we do to help others? First, it starts with us just telling our story. I think people, sometimes they're ashamed of, what they've done in their past or what they've been through, and they don't like to share it. But we put all the cards on the table because I think it's important for people to understand that you see us two here, and you already have this assumption, oh, they're good. And yes, we are now, right? But let me rewind maybe 15 years ago. I was an alcoholic on the red carpet, and when you see me there, I look glamorous, but I was depressed and I was an alcoholic, right? But I found myself out of that. Same thing with Derek. Derek had a really tough upbringing, and he.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I mean, I had ups and downs in my life consistently, whether it was my fault or what I went through with the way I was raised, right, with my mother, where I moved house to house, or my alcoholism that I had. So whether it was me being rude, mean, to others, getting into fist fights, but I've always taken full responsibility for it. And I don't think a lot of people, take as much responsibility for their acts that they've done in the past.
So do you tell your stories to different events or schools?
Yes,
or
I
do you-
mean,
So we've
Derek
done that
has,
too.
yes, we have done that. I mean, we've been on other podcasts sharing our story. Derek has spoke at group homes sharing his story, which helped inspire those kids gravitated to Derek because he was them at one point, and they were there like, wow, okay, so there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And that's what inspired the youth program that we put together, Mind in Motion Plus Youth Program, was inspired by going into a group home and seeing, okay, just for us telling our story and sharing this and sharing what we did to overcome them, they were inspired and they were working through that progress. So that's why we did the youth program. And we need our community to understand, I think, you know, people who see us, like you said, out of our own pocket, right? Yes, we took money out of our own pocket. We didn't care. Then we decided to establish a nonprofit. We put our first race together. We did fundraising, but a lot of those funds came from us. And because we wanted it to be successful, to help others in our community, it didn't matter how much money we spent. Because at the end, it was just seeing the people that we were helping at that time happy. And that's all we wanted. And that's all we really ever want.
So I have a question for you. Would you think anyone taking money out of their pocket is looking for fame or clout chasing or?
No, I'm just, I'm happy that you're doing that. And you're not,
'cause we've
doesn't
got-
sound to me like you're trying to give attention to yourself or anything. Because usually, well, I've just know the stats are saying that mostly people who are poor are the ones who give, and not always one who are well endowed with riches. So I give you much to do that.
Because we were poor.
And,
yes.
and it's good that you tell your story, because that's something I want to do for mine is, you know, I was, you know, way down here and I
Right.
climbed out. And some people have said how they admire me for that. And I said, please don't put me on a pedestal. I'm not an angel or anything. I'm just saying, I just don't want people to give up hope, like you're
Right.
saying.
Exactly.
Right.
And look, this what I did, you know, so same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think anyone, we'll touch on a couple things there. I think anyone
It
that
helps.
decides to tell their story is brave. It doesn't matter what their story is.
Yeah,
See, I
helps
think
that
that's where a lot of
person
times I
grow.
think we differ, right? And I want to be clear, is for me, I don't think your story is any more important than anyone else's story. I don't think my story is any more
No.
important than anyone else's
And
story.
that's what I pretty much say.
I
you
think
know.
everyone's story
Yes.
Everyone's
It's the
story is just
same.
as important. I think we lose sight of that, right? Everyone has this opinion where they think that it should be all about them and their one cause, right? And it
Right.
can't be.
No.
There's many different causes. We got here all in different facets, right?
Right.
I was extremely poor. I don't understand how people don't understand it. Yes, I do really well now, but I was really, really poor. I've eaten at soup kitchens. So what would I be doing to glorify myself when that's how I lived? I'm basically opening myself up and saying, hey, you know, I had to go through all these different things when I was young. I was beaten, all these different things. I did these things to other people, right? Why would I want to tell people those things to glorify myself? These are true things that have happened.
Right.
I don't get any satisfaction reliving it.
No.
But I do get satisfaction helping people do better in life. And whether people believe that or not, I don't really care. But that's
I just
the
say
facts.
the Lord knows.
Yeah. I mean, those are the
Don't
facts,
worry.
right? Those are the things that have happened.
And sometimes you need to bring attention to something, right? And some people don't know where to go or how to start. So, you know, we take that initiative. So if we see something happening and see someone need help, yes, we're gonna put it in the forefront. I mean, that's all I know is to put stuff in because you should. Because if we stepped up, we want others to step up with us. And sometimes you need that first person to take that first step, and then you go, okay, they're helping, maybe I should, right? Now I can call them. Maybe this is something I want to do, but it's nothing about trying to bring attention onto us.
No.
It's
Of
more
course
about
not.
bringing attention to the
that's-
situation at hand. I mean, that's what people say,
That's what
right?
a lot of people have been saying.
People are saying that, and it's disheartening.
it's not.
Yeah, it's disheartening because we work so hard to get to where we are, and we do it from the kindness of our heart. And you know, it's a shame that people just can't see that. They want, I think the negativity outweighs the positivity, and being positive is wrong to be positive, but we don't know any other way to live right now because we've been negative before. We've had that part, and we decided to make a change, and we want to see other people's make that change as well, and we're here to guide them. If they need it, we're here to guide you. We're not going to judge you, but we shouldn't have to take a hit like we're doing something wrong because we want to help.
Like I said, just God knows.
Yeah.
And you just keep doing, and you feel good.
Oh, yes.
You help someone. I say, if I helped one person, and
Right.
Exactly. I mean, there's many things that Derek and I have done that people don't know. And I mean, true story, when we moved back to Bristol, Derek ran into an old friend who was homeless, and he was struggling with addiction, and you know,
Dustin.
and we immediately was like, okay, it was cold outside, we had clothes in our car, we gave it to him. We went into Metro Police CS and got him a prepaid cell phone because he needed, you know, to connect with people. And the business that we were at was like, oh, why don't you take a picture? And Derek didn't want to take the picture because he was like, why do we have to take a picture? And the business, well, you should show people what you're doing, right? Because maybe that will inspire others to help. And that's where it started. And I still have the picture to this day. And Derek looks so uncomfortable in the picture because he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to take it because he didn't want people to think that that's why we were doing it, but yet it still turned like that.
Maybe Ed should tell people. Ed, it's the coffee shop.
It was
He
the
should tell
coffee shop,
people
yes.
That actually I did not want to take a picture at that time. I don't even like taking pictures. I don't even like telling my story half the time. But people always encourage me.
hard.
Yeah, it's hard. And when you know,
I don't think people believe me. I don't think people really have believed me to this point, even though it's been completely honest.
Yeah, it's the same. Like I've been through abuse, and a lot of people have, and I know there were some that were arguing over who was more abused than the other one.
Right.
So if I'm more abused,
Why are we comparing this?
So you should be treating me more with sympathy or empathy.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God! I said,
Right.
it doesn't matter. It's
doesn't
all
matter.
bad.
Correct.
It doesn't matter. Little. Lot.
Correct.
It shouldn't happen at all. I don't care, light, heavy, it's not.
Right.
You can't do that. You can't judge.
Right, exactly.
And,
Exactly right.
and your fellow mates, you should be talking about how you got out of it. How
You would think.
Yeah.
Right.
Not putting each other down. Now you're just doing the same thing that User was doing.
And as adults, we are, we should be better, right? Because we have our children, and our children are seeing that, and then we wonder why there's so much there's so many issues right now with mental health with our kids. I mean, I have 2 children, and it's scary because we live in different times than when I went to middle school, when we went to school, right? So that's why the youth program, which I'm glad to say since the last time we spoke about it, we're in collaboration.
It's not a therapy.
It's not a therapy session. We're not therapists, nor we want to be a therapist, right? It's the reason why some kids, is that stigma of going to therapy. We're before that. We want these kids to feel in a comfortable space with people who've been there and done that, and to want to open up.
Direct them in.
Right, to direct them into
Positive
that.
people.
Right, yes. And, we're blessed that the YMCA, the Meriden New Berlin YMCA, believed in us, in which now we're collaborating with them, and our program will be held at the New Britain location and the Meriden location.
So what kind of program? I mean.
So it's a 10-week program.
But I want to just interject. I'll tell you in 1
program?
second. I want to be crystal clear on something.
Sure.
Anyone that thinks negatively of this program, they can go ask the kids that I spoke to at the group home. If I were able to.
Well, you could also write a little.
If I were able to
program.
clarify their name, this came from a couple boys' mouths, right out of their own mouth.
Yeah, don't say their names though.
I'm not going to say them. No, I'm saying out of their own mouth, what they said to me directly was, "You're the first person to ever come in here that we can actually relate with. All those other people, yes, they had degrees and paper. That's what they said, paper. But you're the first person that understood what we went through. It's like you were talking. It was like you were telling my story. I was only telling my story, and that's what the kids said. Because I've been through so many similar things that they had and gotten out of it. So want to be crystal clear. So if anyone out there, they hear this, you're making fun of the kids then, and you're disrespecting the kids because they're the ones that gave me the idea, because when I went in to speak with them, this is what they told me. So just remember that. If for kids, then you wouldn't be knocking you'd be trying to help us get this going.
Right. Yeah, come join us.
So
Right,
you-
come,
sorry, you
come,
go ahead, you
come,
can
come join us, come help the program grow. Like, yes, there's other programs out there that take some of the aspects of our program. You know, they would deal with the mental health aspect of it, or a program would deal with, you know, they'll go outside and do physical, but we're combining both, where we're having the kids in the classroom, we're having these discussions with the kids, help build their confidence, help build their self-esteem, you know, deal with social media and bullying, you know, depending on that age group, help them get ready for just a job interview, right? Those little things, but then also physical activity. It's important that we get these kids out there and learn how to release that stress, right? Both of those things together, Derek knows it because he did it. He lived it. So this is coming from our heart. This is coming not
the
only from those,
exercise part,
right.
too.
This is not only coming from that group home, but it's coming from our experiences, how we dealt with things. So that's the difference. Like the program is us. The curriculum is us. We had someone, of
No, it's
course, help.
professionally
It's
written.
professionally written, but we guided them to make sure that it fit like the things that we went through and how we dealt with that and how we deal with others in our community, in our workplace. We do the same things there and we see the changes.
Right.
Changing the mindset of people, changing to think more positively,
Right.
not to be so negative all the time.
All right. And they don't have to do exactly what you do. It's like if you're teaching them basketball, it can be baseball. or,
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah, correct.
whatever
yes.
makes you feel
So,
good.
yeah, I mean,
do you
it's-
do that with them? You play
We haven't
basketball or
yet, so
baseball?
not yet. We haven't
yet.
done it yet. We haven't run the class yet, so we're still. This is
In the
why we
building
have the
phase.
5K
Right,
race.
right, so-
all the money's going to go back. Not all the money, but the money that we raise is going to go back to.
For the program
Programs.
because the idea of the program is that we don't want to leave any child behind, right? So, you know, putting the program together is a cost, you know, having you know, we're going
we
to
may
hire
have to
staff,
charge.
you know, so if there is a charge for the program, we want it to be income based. So based on the families, you know, determine how much they pay. Then we also have that opportunity that a business could sponsor a child. So for less than $21 a day in a 10-week period, that is like Dunkin' Donuts coffee in the morning and a bagel, right?
What does it
You
cover?
can, you know, right, and you can have a child. This will cover the 10-week program. That's 2-hour classroom session. We have the 2 running sessions. It covers their clothing for. We don't want the kids. We want the kids to have gear, healthy snacks. You know, all the classroom materials that we're going to need.
Right.
You know, a certified
Sponsors,
running coach. You know, a mentor in the classroom. This is what that is covering. Plus, because we're collaborating with the Meriden New Britain YMCA, the youth will get a 1-year youth membership. So it's a continuing. It's continuing that the kids can take this now. They can go. We also have a community project at the end of the program. We want them to take the skills that they learn to go out in the community and work as a team, right?
Very good.
And then we'll have a graduation and eventually, you know, to acknowledge that, you know, what they have,
Certificates.
what they've done, right? So that's what that's what the race is for. On August 23rd, a 3rd Avenue race, the money is going back. We actually have Allison Demers from the River 105.9. She's our MC.
Yeah. Which
yes.
town?
Huh?
Which town?
It's going to be in Bristol.
Okay.
And
Is this your first one? I thought
this
you
is the
had-
third. This is the
yeah,
third,
I was
right?
like,
Yes.
yeah.
This is the third one, and you know we need the community support because the kids need the community support, and this is what is going to support. It's going to support the
good.
kids in need.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are they going up and down the boulevard or?
So the race course is
No, it starts at the church.
Bridge Community
Bridge
Church.
Community Church.
that's on 43 School Street.
Oh yes.
Yes, it starts
And then
there.
it goes through, you know, in the back of South Street,
Street.
all the way.
on the other side of the
Riverside and
boulevard.
Turns
yeah.
up Riverside Ave,
then down.
up Main Street, and then back down the other side of Main Street.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
and
Oh,
then
so
back close to the middle of
There's always a hill.
Main.
Why
Where the
do they
bus, where the
put a
bus?
hill
Yeah,
in
there's a
there?
hill.
Well, yes, we have a hill, but we added a
there's prize money
competition.
for it,
There's prize money. The king and queen of the hill, they get a little bit of extra cash, and they get a plaque. And then our first,
Very similar to
yes.
the Manchester Road Race where they have a hill.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was my first race.
and it's also cash prizes for our first, second, and third place winners. Then we have our school versus school competition. Right now, the perpetual trophy is with Eastern, the first year Central won. Eastern won last year, so we're going to see what's going to happen this year. We have gym versus gym, so it's very competitive, but it's the community spirit. You know, it's nice to see.
And now we have a fun zone. For
We have a
youth.
fun zone that's
fun
sponsored by the Bridge Community Church. So, you know, we want businesses to come out. Like
Yeah, we have a DJ.
This is for the community, right?
Food truck.
Yeah, the food truck. I mean, we've been growing. Last year we had like
You had more-
200 participants and
from the
vendors.
area?
Yes,
not a
not a
lot
lot of vendors.
From the restaurants or something?
Right,
No.
and that's what we need. We need the businesses to show that they're supporting this program.
No, we don't have a lot of vendors. No.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe more advertising.
No, we
Oh, we
advertise.
advertise. We love to advertise, but it's just about people supporting us, supporting the nonprofit, and just taking, just like the Why Believe in Us. I mean, you see our track record. Our first year we were able to raise $11,000 and give back to the two
Wow,
organizations.
very good.
But it
gonna
takes
say
a lot.
how much,
It takes a lot.
Last year.
And last year, it was a struggle because added expenses, and then we had to do more marketing, and then we had another race in town that we
that
were
costs
competing
money
about.
to do.
It costs money, and I don't think people understand how much money it costs.
No, they don't.
And we were taking money of our own pocket to kind of, to push it along. And, this year, again, we need the support in order to run the race, in order to run the program. So, we're asking for that from our community and outside of the community, because this program is just not for Bristol. This program could go anywhere because it's about the kids.
Oh, that's why I
Yeah.
said, well, it's going to be run out of the New Britain
It's out of New Britain
or
and
the
the Meriden,
Meriden
right? And it could go
Yeah.
anywhere.
Wherever we
So
can
they
put
have
it.
the gym and everything right there. You don't have to go to
Exactly.
any locations.
Exactly.
Can anybody volunteer to help?
Of course, they can.
maybe do the games or.
They can do. Yes,
I mean, myself, I'm a certified running coach, so
Yes.
I'll probably be helping out with the running portion of it and some of the speaking.
And we're also looking for businesses, a sporting goods store that wants to, donate healthy snacks for the program. I mean, we're also
shoes,
looking
running
for
shoes,
yes, we're also
clothing,
looking for
shorts,
donations as well.
Some gear,
Yeah.
water bottles.
Yeah. Anybody come through yet?
Well, we just started advertising that, so that's our ask for
Oh,
the
you said
program.
in August? August.
Well, the race is August 23rd. So for the program, we're looking for businesses to sponsor the program as well, and they can donate.
I see.
They could.
They don't have to do it on
Right,
that
right.
day.
They don't have to do it on that day. This program is going to be a continuous program that's
Yeah.
running. So each session, a different business can sponsor that 10-week program.
Yeah.
Help sponsor a child so the child is not paying a large fee or not a fee at all. So that's what.
It's a great idea. Very good. Both of you
Thank you.
collaborated with
Yeah.
these. What are your age groups?
So the program's for 13 to 18 because this is the age group that kind of gets
Boys and girls.
left behind. So, there's things that happen, our middle school age group and high school, there's not a lot of programming going on for them. So that's why we targeted that
They
age
have
group.
so much energy.
And there's so much going on hormonally for that
know
age
so
group and trying to
much.
find themselves and things, and that's why it's important. You want to be prevented. We live in a scary time where kids are going and shooting up schools and stuff. But what happened before that? Why couldn't we see the signs before that and stop that from happening?
Yeah.
They didn't just wake up one morning and decide to do that. Something was happening before that. And with social media, it's not like before where, keyboard bullying, people are they're behind a screen. They don't realize how they're affecting, and I think we became so numb to things in this world.
I think, actually, I know you said there's more of it, but I think it's just more talked about because in my generation, I saw that.
Right.
And involved in that and mental health.
Right.
It's
just
it
out
was
more
there.
in the open. And it's just consistent.
And
so
it's-
much.
and more are telling their story.
Right.
And
More
saying,
sharing.
this is what's going on.
But I think there's more of an opportunity
told
to tell
not
your
to say a
story.
word.
Right. You
Yeah,
kept
there's more
quiet.
of an opportunity to tell your story now. It's not looked upon
just-
anymore, or shunned upon like
Right.
it used to be. Right. All these things
keep
used to
your
happen
mouth
before.
shut. That'll make you stronger.
Right.
Right.
You're being a baby.
Right. Exactly.
Plus now you have social media, so
Yeah.
which
It's so
didn't
easy
exist
access.
before. So it's a bigger platform. So with all the positives, there's a lot of negatives that come with it too. So
Sadly.
yeah.
Sadly, some people
yin and the
just
yang.
won't get it until it actually happens to them, and then
Right.
You're right.
changes.
Right.
And it's unfortunate. 'cause
Just a lot
it's
of
not a good
adults.
thing to go through.
A lot of adults set bad examples for their kids, and then they, like Kelly said a little earlier, then they wonder why kids act the way they act.
I know they just want it to make it look like Tinkerbell's around all the time. Yeah.
Right.
Not a
Make your
mi- it's
wishes
not a
come
mystery.
true,
Yeah.
Right.
and it just doesn't happen that way. I'm not saying all of them because I don't want to offend anybody either. I'm not saying that's what exactly is going on, but yes, we need to pay more attention to our youth,
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Youth is
no
the
matter what their age.
youth.
No
I mean,
matter.
you have a cycle, right? You start you're born, you're a baby, you can't take care of yourself, and then you become a youth, and then you're kind of lost in that in between, right? Because your hormones and you know, ups and downs,
going crazy,
and
yeah.
what's going on, you know, sad, depressed, not so, right? That's a critical time in your life. And then after that,
You know, which path?
Right.
Who do I
Which path are you
listen
going to
to?
go? Right. Are you going to go down a bad path? Are you going to go down a good path? Right. It all
who do you
sets up your
believe?
adulthood. It
Who do
sets
you
up your
believe?
adulthood. Right.
It does.
So it's very important.
Yeah.
And if you don't have positive role models, you see a lot of negativity, then that's how you may end up.
And your role models are that you have at home or not.
They may not be.
Right. The best, right.
I know in my case, no. Right. So if you even had a home, right,
Yeah.
you could go that
Or
far.
even have a home.
Correct.
That's horrible.
So people like
You
us.
can have a glorious millionaire home and still.
And still,
right. It
right, it doesn't matter.
Affects. It doesn't matter color. It doesn't matter social. It doesn't matter
Ethnicity.
gender. That doesn't matter.
How old you are,
No.
young you are.
It touches everyone.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to get to our youth, and it's a critical time in their life,
Well, I commend you for both of you doing that.
and it works. Right. It works. It can
And
help.
spread the word, and you'll have more I'm sorry, DK movements or
Yeah.
different initials, but
Right.
I mean, if you could change just a couple people, right? I
right,
think you've done a lot, because then you can spread it.
right. Well, we have about a minute left. So, how can someone get more information or get in touch with you to maybe they want to help or donate? Is there a website?
Yeah,
or
so
phone number?
they can go to our website. That's dkmovementcares.org. On there, they'll find information about our youth program. They could donate right on our website, and then they also find out the information about the race, which is again August 23rd at the Bridge Community Church on 43 School Street. We have same-day registration in the morning as well. The race starts at 9 a.m. We're still seeking sponsorships, vendors, and just donations, and the community to come out and support.
How much? Well, I can't say how much, but I'm sure it must cost everyone to go into the race. So they
Yeah,
would
yeah,
find
yeah. There's
out
a registration fee. That's all
on the website.
Right, that's on the website. We have runners and we have fitness walkers. So if you don't run, you can
And
walk.
bring your kids.
And you could bring your kids. We have a free fun run at the beginning of the
I was gonna
race.
say, is there
Yes, and
for
then
the
the kids
kids?
zone.
And there's activities.
And there's
Is there
activities.
a walk? One, two,
Yes, there's a
Yes,
walk.
a
yes.
mile or
Well, no, you can walk the whole
Course.
So we've had to walk the whole course. There's a quick little fun run, and then you have the kids zone for the kids. So there's activities there for the kids to
Games,
enjoy themselves.
There's a DJ.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
There's going to be a food truck there.
Yes.
Oh, good. Very good. Well, thank you for coming.
No, thank you for having us.
And a lot of information. And so please, love you. And I hope that you can help them in any way, shape, or form. Oh, one more thing. Is there a list of maybe things that you need to give to other people? I mean, besides food or like
think we
food,
covered it, right?
clothes, I mean.
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered. I mean, we had for Christmas when we do our holiday food and fun drive. That's when we're collecting
for
the
other
food,
people.
and then we donate it to the local food
They
banks.
could do that through
Yes,
your,
they could do that. Yes.
their website too.
Yes,
To find
the-
out
yeah,
where they
everything-
can drop it off.
Yes, when we do those initiatives, we have it on our website, and they can drop it off to us.
Okay, great.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for tuning in to Christine's Corner. Love you. See you soon.
Follow us on Instagram at nutmeg.tv.